Haley.
Don't worry, Paul. Ain't no one gonna try to make you work out. You safe at home here. All right? I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back.
Squad, let's get it rolling with this one. Deload week, and yeah, I told you guys I was gonna do the whole fly in the wall thing, but it didn't work out for a number of reasons. So what you saw in the beginning was about as much as I got. But yeah, main reason I just need to clean my house and my dogs, and then I'll be sharing with you guys just how plain and simple my life is, and I kind of like it that way. Uh, but yeah, no. So the knee wraps, those are knee wraps that Meg Squats gave me when we were at the LA Fit Expo, and Meg Gallagher, just to be more formal. And I use them on my really light days. They offer a lot less recoil than any sleeve does, and I kind of like that. But at the same time, because I do heavy front squats and then on my first lower body day and then I do the hack squats, I just like a little bit more support and nurture around that knee. So yeah, we'll see. But this is something new. So the sissy squat, don't like think it's some sort of like must do movement. It's just a closed chain leg extension, and I'm gonna start using this one. Auditioned it, I liked it. My rectus femoris was on fire, but yeah, it's just because there's always a line for our leg extension for some reason. But yeah, let's get to the work. So this was the first set. 85 or 90 was the choice I had in regards to my 50 rep challenge. And if you don't know what that is, or you missed the last entry, I'll forgive you. And I'll tell you, basically, it's 4 sets. In 4 sets, we try to accumulate 50 reps. And once we do that, and do it with good form, not like by the hair of our chinny chin chin, then we move up to the next increment. On this week, honestly, I should have gone with the 85s and not the 90s. I missed the 50 rep quota severely. I think I was just barely over 40 reps at the end over the course of 4 sets. And I think the big reason for this is just the fact that a lot of my dumbbell work has been heavier in the lower rep ranges. So I just didn't have the juice to grind out those sets. Oh, I've recorded this. So in between sets, dude, what are you doing? Sit down, rest up. That's just that just kind of yeah. So that nervous walking around is definitely a sign of the fact that I just wasn't too confident on this day. After the first set, I was like, dude, you kind of messed up. And yeah, so like on my squat days, I'm just like there chilling, resting, yapping it up with people, checking out the gram, that sort of stuff. But on this day, I was just like pacing it, and I was like, man, I kind of made a wrong choice, and I just didn't feel good. But it'll get better. I really think that honestly, the 90s might go next week, and they're going to be totally appropriate. It's just I needed that week to get used to that. See, like failure, I never go to failure. Like I drop the dumbbells, which is against gym policy. You do get one warning, so Chris, my bad, bro. I did it gently though, and I did it on the angle that you should. I think I'm making that up. But yeah, so I tried the 85s for the last one, and I'm like, wow. Had you just started with these, you would have gotten your 50 reps. You would have been allowed to graduate the next week to 90, and you would have just it would have been it just burned me out. And after this, like the rest of the training was definitely affected by by the grind that happened on the incline dumbbells. This monster right here is this is actually going really well. It's crazy because during prep I was using a plate and sometimes some change, but you have to remember that I was lighter. So yeah, I was kind of like thrown off initially. I'm like, man, why does this feel so hard? I used to like rock this plate hard back when I was prepping, and it's like, dude, you were 20 pounds lighter. So But this was a test set. So remember, I told you guys that my left lat was bugging me a little bit, so um, I was going to, you know, I was gonna have to stop like pulling via the trap bar. And yeah, it's a lot better. So this was my test run at it, just to see how it felt. If it felt questionable, I was just gonna row the rest of the day and not really stretch out that lat. But it actually, yeah, it turned out like it's fine. And I really do think there was just something, probably just the fact that I hadn't pulled from the floor in a very very long time, like man, close to a year. I think that was probably the reason that yeah, that lat was just overwhelmed by the sudden change in protocol. But no, it was fine, and I was able to do everything that I had planned afterward. So good to hear that it's good to yeah, to get that out of the way, as I have had that left lat be an issue a few years back when I was pulling heavy, and yeah, usually it's never a big issue. I just have to, for like a week or two, just adjust things, and it usually heals up really quick. But this was the one that I was kind of concerned about, my pullover machine, my baby, right? This is this is like the key to me getting some lats this off season, and I stayed about 3, maybe 4 reps away from failure on the first sets, but given the situation, that was totally appropriate. I just wanted to give it a test run and see where it was at, and it I felt it a little bit at the end on my last set, on the last few reps, but I completely just stayed away from grinding. And on this machine, yeah, I've like mastered it overnight, and you can tell when you've mastered a movement when shit gets hard, the weight slows down, but you're still moving. So the ability to grind, it's very hard to grind and push hard on yeah, on a movement that's foreign to you, or a movement that just isn't very fitting with either like how the athlete is put together, or of course, yeah, their technique just sucks. But with that one, it fits me really well, and I've yeah, I've gotten the hang of it relatively yeah, much quicker than I thought I would. So this is my short hit movement of choice: single arm tricep extensions, and then at the end, yeah. See, I try to get my arm past my midline, and you will feel a contraction very similar to what you would feel on a tricep kickback. It's just that the other 90% of the movement is not useless. So absolutely love this one. This is going to be my short hit movement, I think, for a while. It's honestly one of the movements that does the least. Yeah, it gives my effort, gives my elbows a relatively easy time. It's usually the long head work, but I think at this point I've kind of yeah, I only do so many movements, as you guys have noticed, and I think finally with the long head triceps, I've gotten to the point where I've figured out, what I'm going to use that's not going to hurt me eventually. Lateral raises. So I'm doing them like this because the benches were taken. And here's the thing, especially as we go up the body. So like anything where you're the joint that is moving, well, there's a lot of joints underneath. They're very susceptible to like self-inflicted bro spots. So like your calves can help, your knees can help, your hips can help, but by doing this, and this is why you will see that you're significantly weaker when you're seated compared to when you're standing, is because sometimes you are kind of bro spotting yourself without knowing. I mean, think about it this way: like whenever you've have had a spot from someone, or you've spotted someone, it doesn't take a whole lot to get it moving. And especially with these isolation movements where you're not using a whole lot of weight, I prefer to do them seated, where other muscles will not get in the way. So yeah, it was kind of a start to the upper body. So I did film the first 2 workouts of this new training block, my more permanent training block, I feel. And yeah, the pump was awesome, but the performance was kind of mediocre. And again, I look back, and it was probably a number of factors. in regards to sleep, recovery. Maybe your boy partied a bit too much, but for the most part, I got the ball rolling, and yeah, I think the biggest thing was just like the high reps. I just wasn't used to that at this point, but yeah, I'll get better. I'll recharge, and I absolutely feel that come next week, I will be able to have little issue with the 90s, or it's going to be more appropriate. I'll probably be able to net somewhere in the like close to 45 reps over the course of 4 sets. But no, all in all, this was a good day. It was just good to get back in there and train. You know how it is post deload. You're just anxious to get back in there. The wire was a little frayed, and it was catching me. So there we go. Yeah, it hurts, right? Um, but yeah, no, it was just good to get back in there and build some momentum, and yeah, we'll definitely see this day come alive with each passing week. Now that I kind of know where I'm starting from. But yeah, so this was this day. Now back to the good squat day that did happen. Yeah, okay. So this was the day we're throwing our hands up in the air as if there were no repercussions. So I was super pumped about this day because 295 for a 4x6 was my best 4x6 all of last off season. This was 285 for a 4x5. But it was so chill. So when I did that 4x6 with 295, it was one of those days where it's like, how did I make it out alive? But on this day, it was super chill to the point where I wanted to add more weight. I wanted to start off with like 295, but it's like, nah, 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 dude, like chill. Like, let's give yourself some space to work with. You have quite a few weeks left as you build up and you try to do things you've never done before. And I'm glad that I did. You know how it is. Like when you hit like a milestone, like in regards to specialty plates, it's like, man, once you've squatted over 3 plates on a front squat, it's like I want to do it all the time. So I'm like, can I get a little bit closer to that? But I'm glad that I gave my nice freaking edit, Bert. Good job, dude. Yeah, I needed to give myself some space, build some momentum. I just tested, so like tighten things back up, gain some confidence, recover, and yeah, in a few weeks we'll be doing. I'm super optimistic. We'll be doing some things that we've never done before on this lift, and it's one of my favorite lifts. It's like one that I do take pride in. So yeah, it's like I'm glad that I was patient. Oh, the homeboy Ryan was squatting with us. Ryan, bruh, thank you for letting me use the rack with you. But the whole vibe at IP the last few weeks is just like changed in regards to people who not only like to lift but learn about lifting. And yeah, just like the dialogue is just so different. So good times with the homie Ryan. But yeah, so yeah, all the sets kind of look the same, which is kind of the point. No, this was not my best set, but they all were like relatively, yeah, like similar in regards to like final rep RPE. So yeah, it's like I'm glad that I'm being patient because it's like, bro, you still have a lot of off season left. Like, don't get hurt, progress, be patient, and in 3 years, like you'll be balling in gains. So yeah, I was super pumped about the start of this day. All clean reps, baby, all clean reps. So we're off to a fantastic start. The hack squat volume, though, that's got me tripping. We'll see. So the hack squat that was the drama today. I programmed, man. So the same thing, like 50 reps over the course of 4 sets. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, dude, like you were only doing 2 sets on that thing. And if you do 4 sets, you're basically like doubling your volume. Let's just add 1 set. And not to mention, I did something in my back. I pulled a muscle in my back. Um, I think just kind of wedging tightly into this thing, and my torso kind of, yeah. I did it was a little, it was just a slightest move, something I never do, and it felt off. I was a little concerned at first, but it's been a few hours now since this took place today, and yeah, no, it doesn't feel bad at all. So I got away with one, but yeah, kind of goes to show you, right? You the hack squat, right? Even with a hack squat, like, you need to be mindful and very robot like about what you do. But yeah, we ended up doing 3 sets. This is definitely a PR. Me and the homie Brian Miner, we have a little competition going with the hack squat. In regards to, like, yeah, there's a new gym record that we report to each other every few weeks. And yeah, my goal at some point is, I'd love to have, it's a hack squat, but it's a PR still. I'd love to get 7 plates on this thing for a set of 10. I think that would be pretty dope. So yeah, 3 sets on this, left it at that, and then we can do this. It's just a lot of work. That's all. Just a lot of work. We're willing to do the work, though. Don't get that twisted. I was like sending myself like motivational memes in between sets. Yeah, those hack squats killed me. So this is what the sissy squat looks like from the side. Again, this is day 2 of this training block, so it's my more quad dominant lower body day. So it looks all right. I thought I was getting a tiny bit more range of motion than I actually was, but it feels super comfortable. And again, like, my rectus femoris is just like, it's on fire with these. So yeah, just kind of changing it up, something a little bit different. But yeah, no, for the most part, successful start to this block. I'm super anxious to just continue to progress on the amount of work that I'm doing, and I just want to milk that as long as possible. And yeah, if I can, I'd be mind blown. But I'd totally welcome the prospect of yeah, just having a off season where the whole time I just trained 4 days per week. And it definitely means that I was probably overdosing the stimulus previous years and just not being patient enough. But like, there's nothing like, yeah, being wrong is pretty rad at the end, because that means you're a little bit closer to finding out the most recent truth, right? But yeah, that was my training week. This next week will be a little bit more exciting, as like, there will be no deloaded footage. I will clean up my house and show you guys inside, and give you guys the tour. Maybe not the tour, but yeah, definitely let you guys into my personal space a little bit more. Again, super appreciative of everyone who joins in. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tell your friends, and yeah, I'll see you guys here at some point next week. Yeah, just a little bit stronger, a little bit more jacked, but having as much fun as usual. Peace.